So I found this on my trawls around the internet, and what this is a practical working demonstration of what anarcho-communism will look like. Let's enjoy it. Classy. The last
Yeah,
free
it's
place in
insanity
America.
to move, say, yeah, I want to live there, I want to live where the conditions are harsh, there's no ways to find food or water.
Not the world's greatest advertisement, is it? I mean, honestly, this is, as they say, a place called Slab City in the Sonoran Desert in California. Looks like something from Fallout, doesn't it?
You could, potentially get shot here.
By a super mutant, presumably.
It happens.
People, burn other people's houses down. And
They just burn other people's houses down. How great is anarcho-communism? So the text is, with no government oversight or services, residents are on their own fending for themselves. And this is how it looks. Just... What I love about this is they're not actually doing any work. Exactly as you would expect from an anarcho-communist society, the people are actually just sat around doing nothing.
My name is Aaron, and I live in Slab City, California. Came out for this one event and fell for the place, and I stayed, I guess just the freedom. Give artists a place to have the freedom to do art as they see fit. Or you don't want to go there.
You know what, that's literally what they think is going to happen in an anarcho-communist society. Everyone will become an artist. I don't know whether you noticed how disgusting the artwork looks. I mean, let's just skip back a little bit.
Or you
Like, what? This is art.
don't want to go there.
Look, that's a piece of artwork there. What appears to be trash that is making the place look disgusting is actually a piece of artwork. Wonderful, isn't it? But this is what Oscar Wilde was talking about in the Soul of Man Under Socialism, which I'll probably do a video on at some point, because it's very interesting how he thinks everyone they'll become a free spirit, they'll become enlightened, they'll be free to pursue their own passions and to create wonderful works of art and do beautiful things, and instead they end up living in a garbage pile that is full of people who are useless wastrels who do nothing with their lives, and for some reason want to live in a post-apocalyptic hellscape.
An active bombing range. It was originally a military base called Camp Dunlap. The military pulled out and left a bunch of concrete slabs and nothing else.
And they were like, you know what, I want to live there. Just why?
around 1952 is when it became Slab City and people started camping here and squatting here.
Now there's a community that goes between 200 and 2,000 people.
So I looked this up, and it is a community of between 200 and 2,000 people. Most of them don't live there permanently, if you can Adam and Eve it. Most of them apparently come from the north of America in the winter to winter there, and sit around and do nothing, which, I mean, if that's your thing, then good for you.
And squat here and build a fence around a little piece of desert and live here.
And I wonder why she needed that fence. Why did you need the fence, love? I wonder if she'll tell us later.
Or people will come here just to get out, be different.
No one pays rent. It's more you contribute as a whole, to the collective as a whole, to make sure that everyone here can survive throughout the year.
Amazing. So, the community as a whole, the collective as a whole, all contributes to each other so they can survive. Survival is actually really low on my list of immediate priorities. Survival is actually really easy in a modern Western country. In fact, in a non-Western country, survival is remarkably easy because that's the purpose of civilization. To make survival not the difficult thing in your life, to make it so that you can survive very easily. In fact, you can prosper, and you can end up with wealth, with happiness, with health, with the internet, with all of the the modern conveniences we take for granted. These are all things that are pretty much guaranteed in almost every country in the world at this point. And I love that these people are, you know what, I'd really like to just get back to barely surviving. If we all just pitch together, then we can prove that Aristotle was right, and that things held in common are treated poorly by everyone, and not held in any regard by anyone. I mean, look at this. It's fucking caravan squatting. It's like, yeah, this is real freedom. Yeah, I guess it is. I guess you're really free. I'll just have to be oppressed by my luxury.
Sometimes I worry about the people here because, you know.
No cops? No vetting? No idea who these people are? They seem to be random vagrants who actually think that living in an anarcho-communist society is a great thing. Yeah, I can imagine you're worried about those people.
We get a lot of people who fall through the cracks here.
You could.
I wonder if you get any convicted criminals who flee to a place like this. You know, someone's on the lam, maybe. Who knows?
You know, potentially get shot here.
Well, to be fair, you can potentially get shot anywhere. But what are the odds of being shot there?
It happens.
Well, yeah, but again, like, how often does it happen? Not that anyone would ever know, because it's not like you guys keeping any records. It's not like you've got anyone who's taking any interest in any of that, so who knows how often you shoot people?
There's no law that you cannot do this or you cannot do that.
So shooting people's just fine. There's no law against it. Just... This is literally making me want to play Fallout, actually.
People, you know, burn other people's houses down, and if you don't have a house...
They just burn other people's houses down. Just for the fun of it? Why? Why do they burn other people's houses down? What possible incentive is there to look at the bare minimum, the shanty, the shack that someone's put up and be like, I'm going to deprive them of that. I don't think they deserve to have a shack.
or a dwelling space, especially in summer, you're, like, totally screwed.
Wow, it's almost like civilization is a better option than anarcho-communism.
Because, you know, it's an extreme environment.
I think that's...
It'd be like that anywhere. I'd hate to live without a house in Britain, especially coming into the winter. I mean, it'd be bad enough in the summer months, but... I mean, I'm casually just sat here recording this, and I think, oh, I'm going to have a sip of my tea because I can. And if I want more tea, I can go downstairs and get it. Do you know why? Because I can boil a fucking kettle by pressing a button. Because I have electricity, I have running water, I have sanitation, and I have safety. Civilization is fucking amazing. And don't let any one of these hippie communists tell you otherwise.
The resort that happens when this person is sufficiently upset a majority of the Slab community. It's do as thou will, but cause no harm. If what you're doing is causing harm to no one, then there shouldn't be a problem with it.
How is it that people's houses get burned down? Or shot? Or whatever? And I love the way that the only justice is mob justice. This person burned down my house. Oh, did they? Well, let's go and lynch them then. Or whatever it is you people do for quote-unquote justice.
Yeah. Scrap fence is always fun. I did this one as kind of more of an art piece than, I mean, it's a good fence. There's no scrap pile here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you need a scrap fence to protect your scrap pile, don't you? You wouldn't want someone stealing anything that valuable. Holy Christ.
Sometimes you just gotta smash something to feel better about your day.
Yeah, that made me feel better about my day, just vicariously. Watching you smash it, I was like, yeah, my day's improved now. Smashing things is a real way to improve my day. Building stuff is bollocks, unless it's a fence of scrap to protect my scrap heap. Don't want people stealing from my scrap heap. It's Fallout.
I'm Cornelius Van Gogh. I live at and run Slab City Library. Some of the things that
Can you imagine the books they have in that library?
got sick of in society is just people overcomplicating things all the time. You know, making simple things like just existing a big fucking hassle. When I go into
I'm not even going to comment.
the city, I feel really small. I feel like a tiny little nobody. And when I'm out in the wilderness, I feel like a freaking, you know, like a proud beast, like a grizzly bear or some shit, you know? Like, I am the master of my domain, and
When do you think the last time she bathed was?
I have the freedom to take things into my own hands.
Well, that's because there's no law. In fact, it's not so much a freedom to do that, it's more a compulsion to do that. You simply have no choice, do you? Or otherwise someone's going to break down your scrap fence and set fire to your scrapyard.
I saved up and
Oh, more great art. This is, I mean, look at this luxury.
bought a shotgun because I wasn't sure like how lawless it was. I've never had to shoot anybody with it, but you know,
I love that hand. Let's go back.
like how lawless it was.
So, I heart equality. They are all very equal. None of them have very much at all. See if we can identify any of these books. Hang on. It's a bit blurry. Can't really read them properly. I suppose if I was doing this properly, I could probably identify them. How to, DIY, etc. I suppose that'd be very important.
I've never.
Given how you can't actually pay for services or anything. It's just... Division of labour was a mistake. We need to go back to everyone doing everything. No one having any specialities. I know that means that everyone's kind of shit at everything, but, you know, trust me, this is going to work.
Never had to shoot any.
In fact, I remember years ago, right, I was, like, I've not long been on Facebook, and a friend of mine shared a post, like a picture, a meme, of some Japanese farmer, and he was like, you know what, if everyone was a farmer, the world would be a better place. Everyone should grow their own food. And my friend had, like, kind of naively bought into this, and I was just like, okay, how many part-time farmers does it take to cure cancer? And he was like, what? And so I basically explained to him the concept of division of labour, and he was like, wow, you're right, this post is fucking stupid, and this is exactly the same thing. It's just specialisation is good for humanity as a whole, especially if you live in a communal thing and everyone has to contribute to the community. A little bit of specialisation would be really good there. But then someone would be like, well, I'm not giving away my labour for free. And then we start becoming capitalists.
Anybody with it, but you know, I just wanted to be safe, so I got my shotgun and I came down here and shotgun, saved up and bought a shotgun because I wasn't sure like how lawless it was. I've never had to shoot anybody with it.
Oh, it's empty. Okay.
But you know, I just wanted to be safe, so I got my shotgun and I came down here and I found out that the library was here and it had been abandoned for a long time and was in disrepair, so I moved in.
So they're not big readers then?
The television will not be revolutionized. So this here's my personal favorite piece. It was initially built, well, I'm losing my hat. It was initially built and used...
Mouthy Buddha, is that you in 10 years? Just out of interest.
The backdrop of a stage, and there was 15 TVs, and it was very impressive when we built it up there.
He really reminds me of you. I'm just saying, dude, I love you, but this is funny. You know, he really sounds like you, and he doesn't look a million miles away from you. Maybe this guy's you as a time traveler.
And so we brought them out here, and we stacked them all up, and it ceased to be very impressive. It was just small. Tell people, if you got a TV you want to get rid of, please bring it down. We're not even going to ask where you got it. This is Cinnabar.
Okay, let's have a quick look at some of the things written on those TVs.
There. And so we brought them out here and we stacked them all up, and it ceased to be very impressive. It was...
Democrats are evil. Media versus you. Well, I agree with that. I don't agree with the Democrats are evil. So to be fair, it's kind of woke.
Just small.
This machine kills brain cells, do not engage. Crap is entertainment. Yeah, okay, I agree with those.
Tell people, if you got a TV...
Get off the couch. You people have nothing to do. You have literally nothing to do. Turn me on. That's not the wisest idea, considering you hate the television.
If you want to get rid of, please bring it down. We're not even going to ask...
And you don't have electricity either, so you can't.
Where you got it. This is Cinnabar Charm. This belonged to our founder, Charlie. He decorated with around 20,000 individual objects. He did all this himself.
Amazing. He glued things to a van. Another wonder of anarcho-communism. Giving the human race real purpose, I think.
Or we used to ask him where he found time to do all this stuff. Always his answer was, I've got 24 usable hours in the day, same as any one of you.
Yeah, because you don't have fucking jobs or families or responsibilities or literally anything that will improve your quality of life. So you sit at the bottom and decorate a car, a van. I don't even, I mean, does this even move? Can this van, is it capable of its actual original function? Or is it now just another decorative piece of rusting junk? Like everything else in your anarcho-communist, I'll call it a commune, I think.
It's also, as you can see, the first church of the chocolate martini. Tenets of the first church of the chocolate martini: make good thing, do big fun, get more laid, rise and infect.
Rise and infect. Okay, so you make yourself sound like a virus.
So right here we have the mammoth. The mammoth's actual name is Definition of a Grievance, but we just call it the mammoth. East Jesus is, as our founder Charlie Russell explained, an experimental, habitable artwork in progress. Anyone he knew that wanted to do art and just didn't have a good outlet for it, that was his whole idea of East.
Right, this is a good outlet, is it? Some rusting junk in the desert is a good outlet for art, is it? Wow. There's so much about art that I simply don't know.
Jesus being that outlet.
Looks like Fallout. It just looks like a bunch of fucking scavengers from Fallout. And it looks like I'm going to shoot them all and take about, 50 bottle caps and a crappy old pistol. Presumably with about 4 or 5 rounds. And I will continue on because this is a waste of everyone's existence.
As they came for camping, free camping for a while.
Fucking Che Guevara tattoo. What a fucking surprise.
And then truck ran out of gas.
Oh, imagine that.
And decided to stay.
Probably because you were trapped there.
I can have my own campground, my little corner, put a little tent, drop there my old van and just let it there rust and make a little room out of it, and I can crash there.
What do these people do for food and water? I'm legitimately curious, and I haven't seen any answer to this yet. I mean, these are the full-time residents. I assume this was shot in the summer. I can understand, like, the temporary people who come down and, they bring resources with them, so they've got food and water, and then they leave. But what do these people do? I mean, is there a well? Is there, I don't see them doing any farming. Imagine my shock.
There's no regulation, and the city will not come, the town will not come and tell you that you cannot build that, you cannot put that there. Or...
Don't worry, I don't think you're in much danger of building anything of any note. I mean, looking at the things you've got, I imagine that these are things that are probably below the regulation line anyway.
I don't know, maybe I'll turn this into a meditation room.
Ooh.
But then
Let's be fair though, you can do fucking nothing with it, aren't you? You're going to sit around and do literally nothing.
Keep adding outside or bringing... I want to build a pond.
Yeah, ain't going to happen, is it?
And just fill it up with water, so I don't have to take the dogs to the pond, they just can come there.
Where are you going to get the water? You're in a fucking desert.
Maybe a rock garden, a little... I don't know.
Yeah, you're not going to do shit. Let's be honest, you ain't going to do shit.
Something that I can even get inside in the water, Freedom is a state of mind, I believe. Freedom of not paying, not have to live among a lot of people or congregated in a big city. Maybe that's freedom for me, so I live by myself here, and when I want to talk to somebody, then I go and visit. And
look at the people you have to talk to. People who leave a library to just fester until someone randomly comes along and decides to live in it. People who, they do nothing. They build junk art. Is that really... I mean, what worldly experiences are these people going to have to be able to relate to you?
Oh, I got here finally. He's tied up. And he's still laughing.
Yeah, that's not
smiling.
creepy.
I got the bunny.
Yeah.
You see variety of characters. Characters welcome. Slab City, characters welcome. That's what it should be reading nowadays.
Huey, now you want to come up here with me? Every county should have a slab city. Every county, at least and every metropolis should have there should be a community where people can go and live within their means. And that's what.
These are some good means. These are some really, really. I just feel bad for these people that they. I mean, I know they're choosing to live this way, but there's still a part of me that's like, I mean, whatever's compelling them to choose to live this way is. I just. I mean, I hope they're all happy. That's all I'm saying. I hope they're all happy, but there is no fucking way I'm living like this.
What I do basically now. But I have enough. My solar, I'm buying on credit.
How?
From Solar Mike, who's kind enough to trust me to make payments. This is my...
How? How are you buying that? What are you doing to earn money? I mean, and what stops someone from just walking along and smashing it up? Really? What is going to stop them from going, you know what, I'm just going to smash this? You're living in a place with a woman who literally is like, you know what I need to do? Smash something to make my day better. You have no property rights, you have no electricity, you have no recourse if any of this if she just comes along and just smashes the fucking thing. But you'll still owe Solar Mike a bunch of money that, yeah, I'm assuming you're going to have trouble getting. So just... And I love the way you're like, well, I'm going to go live in the desert in an anarcho-communist commune. But I definitely want solar panels because, you know, I want electricity and I want all of the other sort of luxuries of life. But I don't want to have to live in a civilization that can produce them. So, all right, that's lucky that there is a facility for that. It's called capitalism, isn't it? Like I said, I have no idea how you're making money, though, so...
My favorite sitting place in the evening... And this is my favorite sitting place in the morning. And
God, her life just sounds like a roller coaster, doesn't it? Well, in the evening I sit here, and I'll sit there in the morning, but sometimes I'll switch it up and change them over, you know.
This is my dog bath.
Amazing. Again,
well, I just put this fence up just recently because people will walk right through your yard and steal from you.
Yes, even in an anarcho-communist society, you know, the utopia we've been told so much about, you still need a fence to stop people just walking through your yard and stealing what little you have. I guess wealth is relative. I imagine this woman's considered quite a well-to-do type. She has solar panels and a fucking fence. I do hope someone doesn't shoot her and burn her house down after smashing it all up, because that would be tragic, wouldn't it?
This is my bus. Actually, it's not my bus. I'm just taking care of it. For Sandy, the artist that used to be her art. Sandy was a sweetheart, older lady. She wanted everybody to be happy. She was a musician. She didn't make very much money on her Social Security, but she would have like every Tuesday night a music.
Right. Okay. Right. That makes sense. So you actually do get money from the government. That's right. Okay. That makes perfect sense. I was wondering, but I looked at the Wikipedia article before recording this because I am doing Young Turks levels of research on this. Apparently there's a town 4 miles away that a lot of them sort of travel to buy groceries and stuff. So I'm assuming that's the way they get their food, and I'm assuming it's through things like Social Security that they can afford to buy their food. So they're not really communists. What they are is fucking parasites.
Venue here.
Wait, that was redundant.
And we would all come for hot dogs and coffee. She liked the pastel pink colors, and she liked to drink wine and dance at the range.
Yeah, I bet she did. That's fascinating. That's really interesting.
So, anyway, she painted half of this for about a third of it, and then she passed away. And so, some people who were camping here after her, watching the camp, taking care of it for the family, they finished the paint job in her style. I still haven't cleaned out a lot of Sandy's stuff.
Imagine that. There's still lots to do and nobody's doing it because everyone's sat around doing nothing and painting junk. Can't believe that's the outcome.
But anyway, I'm really grateful that I can have this little spot, you know, to squat on. can put a few things here and have a place I can just feel comfortable, pretty comfortable and safe.
Doesn't look very comfortable to me. Doesn't sound very safe to me. Which is why you need a fence. And the other woman needed a gun.
It's a place where people can come and find a refuge, you know.
Yeah, from the hells of modern life and getting fat and heart disease, I imagine. Come and explore what it's going to be like to live after the nuclear fallout.
They can build whatever they want to build here.
No,
Not a bunch.
Hang on. No, they can't. It seems that they can only build things that are essentially just made out of junk. I don't see any marble sculptures of Roman emperors there or anything like that. I don't see any towering skyscrapers. I see shacks in a little shantytown full of fucking dropouts who are leeching off the government.
Bunch of like lawless rebels. It's people that just kind of got sick of not fitting in with society.
To be fair, maybe this is the best place for them, but all I'm saying is I'm not going to live this way. The anarcho-communists will not win because it will come to civil war before we end up like this.
Real Slab City, I think, it's an acceptance of people.
Of mediocrity. That's what it is. It's an acceptance of, well, you know what? We don't actually need happiness, wealth, and prosperity. What we could live on is the bare minimum. We don't need to produce anything. We don't need to manufacture anything. We don't need to refine anything. We don't need to do a damn thing. As long as there's a giant functional civilization only 4 miles away that we can actually get money from and then use that money to buy goods from, then we are actually allowed to exist in the desert and do nothing.
Or people that get stuck. You know, they come for a while and then truck breaks down. There's no enough funds to fix it or
Imagine my shark.
go another one.
Oh, where would you get one from?
And then you decide to stay.
You don't decide to stay. You decide to stay because you have literally no options. What the you know what? Because when you've entirely been robbed of the means of leaving, you just decide to stay. Yes, that's exactly it.
And just get insane like them.
Slab City, last free place. And it is. So far, we're going to keep it that way if we can.
I really don't think anyone's going to try and take it away from you. I mean, why? What good would this be to anyone else?
Are we really free if in order to do what we want, we have to live in the middle of the frickin' desert where it's extremely hot because there's nowhere else left for people like us to be? I mean...
To be fair, love, there are loads of council estates all across my country that aren't that dissimilar. No, I'm joking. That's really mean, because honestly, most people living in council estates are not like these people.
I guess, yeah, if that's freedom, then we are free here.
Watching this has made me feel very capitalist, just so you know. Suddenly Gordon Gekko did nothing wrong.